Susan Boyle stunned the world in 2009 when she stepped onto the Britain's Got Talent stage and delivered a performance that instantly became legendary. With her shy demeanor, unassuming appearance, and a voice that seemed to carry magic itself, she captured hearts and won the competition, proving that raw talent could defy expectations and change lives overnight. For a brief moment, it seemed as if her dreams had finally come true, and the world watched eagerly as she rose from obscurity to international fame. But behind the applause and media frenzy, Susan's life has taken a path that few could have anticipated. The fame that seemed like a blessing brought immense pressure, scrutiny, and personal challenges. The sudden spotlight on her every move, the relentless attention from the media, and the weight of public expectation have made her journey far more complicated than the fairy tale story fans imagine. What seemed like a dream come true has, in many ways, become a source of struggle and sadness. Sources close to Susan reveal that her post-Britain's Got Talent life has been filled with obstacles that go beyond professional pressures. She has faced health struggles, loneliness, and the difficulty of adjusting to a world that suddenly knows everything about her, even the parts she never wanted to share. The very fame that launched her career also exposed her to challenges she was not prepared for, creating a reality far different from the excitement and joy of her initial victory. Today, Susan Boyle's story is a complex one-part triumph, part heartbreak, and entirely human. The life of a global star, adored by millions, is not always glamorous or joyful. The world may remember the magic of her voice, but few truly know the challenges she continues to face behind the spotlight. Susan Boyle's rise to fame was nothing short of extraordinary. Before Britain's Got Talent, she lived a quiet life in Blackburn, Scotland, caring for her aging parents and pursuing her passion for singing in relative obscurity. Few could have predicted that one shy, unassuming woman would captivate millions around the globe in a single moment. When she first walked onto the stage, viewers were skeptical, judging her by appearances and demeanor, but the instant she opened her mouth, the room fell silent. Her voice, powerful and angelic, instantly erased any doubts and proved that talent could defy all expectations. That performance would become one of the most iconic moments in reality TV history, earning her not only the victory, but also a lasting place in the hearts of fans worldwide. However, the sudden transition from a quiet life to international stardom was far from easy. Susan's fame brought intense scrutiny and pressure that she had never experienced before. Every interview, every public appearance, and even her personal life became subjects of intense media attention. While millions celebrated her success, the constant spotlight created challenges that few people saw. Susan, a woman who had lived a simple life for decades, suddenly had to navigate a world filled with cameras, expectations, and the pressures of maintaining a public image. The demands of fame can be overwhelming for anyone, but for Susan, who had spent most of her life outside the public eye, it was particularly intense. Insiders reveal that the rapid fame brought both opportunities and emotional strain. She was offered recording contracts, invitations to high-profile events, and international tours. Yet each opportunity came with expectations she wasn't always prepared to meet. Balancing professional obligations with her own emotional well-being became a constant struggle. Despite achieving her lifelong dream of singing for the world, Susan faced the isolating reality of being constantly observed and judged. The very success that should have been a dream fulfilled also carried a hidden cost. The loss of privacy, the pressure to perform flawlessly, and the challenges of adjusting to life under a microscope. Friends and associates note that Susan's personal life, once private and comfortable, also became more complicated. While she has always been independent and strong-willed, the weight of public attention intensified feelings of loneliness at times. What had been a quiet, predictable routine turned into a whirlwind of appearances, interviews, and media obligations. Even everyday decisions, what to wear, where to go, what to say, were magnified and scrutinized, leaving her little room to simply be herself. Susan Boyle's life, while filled with moments of joy and recognition, has also been marked by the emotional cost of fame and the challenges of adapting to a world that suddenly knew everything about her. Despite these pressures, Susan continued to pursue music with passion, recording albums, performing in concerts, and maintaining her love for singing. Yet, sources stress that the excitement of early success was tempered by the reality of what it takes to sustain a career under the constant gaze of public attention. The journey that began with a magical performance on a small stage in Britain has been a complex blend of triumph, challenge, and personal struggle, revealing that even a global superstar can face moments of sadness and hardship behind the fame. As Susan Boyle navigated the years following her iconic Britain's Got Talent victory, it became clear that fame was a double-edged sword. On one hand, she achieved what countless aspiring singers dream of: worldwide recognition, financial opportunities, and the ability to share her voice with millions. On the other hand, the attention she received came with emotional pressures that were unexpected and often overwhelming. The very public who celebrated her talent sometimes struggled to separate the persona from the person, leaving Susan in a position where her life and emotions were constantly under scrutiny. Those close to her reveal that the early days of her newfound fame were particularly challenging. Interviews, photo shoots, television appearances, and global tours demanded both stamina and emotional resilience. While she thrived in her performances, the relentless schedule left little time for privacy or rest. The pressure to meet public expectations, combined with the shock of living a life so drastically different from the quiet existence she had known, created a sense of isolation. Even in the midst of adoring fans and professional success, Susan faced moments of loneliness and emotional strain that few outside her inner circle fully understood, complicating matters further. Susan has openly dealt with health concerns that have affected her physically and emotionally. The pressures of travel, late-night performances, and public appearances can exacerbate these conditions, creating additional challenges in her daily life. Friends describe her as resilient and dedicated, yet human, someone who experiences fatigue, disappointment, and emotional highs and lows like anyone else. Her story serves as a reminder that celebrity status does not shield anyone from the vulnerabilities and challenges of life. Financial pressures, while not often discussed publicly, have also played a role in her ongoing struggles. While Susan earned a significant income through albums and tours, maintaining a career in the music industry requires careful management, investment, and continuous effort. Every album, performance, and appearance carries both opportunity and risk, adding another layer of responsibility to a life already under intense observation. Navigating this world, while staying true to her artistic vision and personal boundaries, has proven to be a delicate balance. Despite these hardships, Susan Boyle's passion for music has never waned. Sources close to her note that she continues to rehearse, record, and perform with the same dedication that won her a place in the hearts of millions. Yet, the reality of sustaining fame while managing personal and professional challenges has made her journey bittersweet. Every performance, while a celebration of her talent, is also a reminder of the pressures and sacrifices she has endured. Her story is not one of regret, but of resilience, perseverance, and the quiet sadness that often accompanies lives lived under a spotlight. Over the years, Susan Boyle's life has been marked by both remarkable achievements and deeply personal struggles. Her rise to fame brought her into the global spotlight almost overnight, a transition that many might find exhilarating, but for Susan, it also brought challenges that were difficult to navigate. Those closest to her describe a woman whose incredible talent is matched by vulnerability and sensitivity. While she has achieved extraordinary professional success, the emotional toll of fame has at times overshadowed the joy of her accomplishments. The media attention that followed her initial rise has been relentless. Every performance, public appearance, or interview has been scrutinized, sometimes positively, but often in ways that magnify pressure and expectation. Susan, who was previously accustomed to a quiet and private life, suddenly had to adapt to a world where every action could be interpreted, judged, or misrepresented. Even the simplest choices, from her wardrobe to her mannerisms, became topics of discussion in a way that few people outside the entertainment industry can imagine. Friends and insiders note that the constant public gaze created feelings of isolation, as it became difficult to separate her public persona from her private self. In addition, Susan has faced health and emotional challenges that complicate the pressures of life in the public eye. While she continues to perform, travel, and record music, managing these demands alongside personal wellness has required immense effort. She has been open about her struggles with confidence and mental health, acknowledging that fame did not erase the vulnerabilities that have always been a part of her life. Indeed, the very qualities that made her relatable and beloved, her humility, her honesty, her emotional openness, also make navigating fame and expectation more challenging. Financial and career pressures have further complicated her journey. While her initial success brought significant opportunities, maintaining a sustainable career in music demands continuous engagement, careful planning, and resilience in the face of setbacks, tours, recording sessions, promotional obligations, and public appearances are constant demands that require both energy and focus. For someone whose life prior to fame was quiet and structured, adapting to the unpredictability and pace of celebrity life has been a continual struggle. Despite all of this, Susan Boyle remains committed to her music. Friends and colleagues stress that her passion for singing has never wavered. Each performance, whether in a small venue or a televised concert, continues to showcase the extraordinary voice that captured the world's attention. Yet, beneath the applause and accolades lies a poignant reality. Fame has brought both triumph and sadness, opportunities and pressures, admiration and isolation. Susan's life today is a reminder that even those who seem to have achieved their dreams face challenges and struggles behind the scenes, often hidden from public view. As Susan Boyle's story unfolds in the years after her Britain's Got Talent victory, it becomes clear that the narrative of instant success and fairy tale fulfillment is far from complete. While her voice continues to mesmerize audiences and her name remains widely recognized, the personal side of her life tells a more complicated story. Friends, colleagues, and insiders describe a woman who has faced loneliness, emotional strain, and the ongoing challenges of adapting to life under the constant glare of public attention. Fame, while a dream for many, has carried costs that are both visible and unseen. One of the key challenges Susan has faced is the difficulty of maintaining personal connections. Amidst her fame, relationships, once straightforward and private, became more complex under public scrutiny. Even simple social interactions can carry added weight when the world is watching. This has sometimes left her feeling isolated, despite the millions of fans who adore her. Those close to Susan note that her warmth, humor, and humility remain intact, but the pressures of fame have introduced moments of sadness and emotional difficulty that the public rarely sees. Professionally, Susan continues to perform and record music, but the demands of her career have not diminished. Tours, studio sessions, and promotional obligations are rigorous, and balancing them with personal well-being requires constant effort. Health considerations, emotional fatigue, and the challenge of sustaining public expectations all intersect, creating a reality that is far more complex than the celebratory story of her initial rise. Even as she continues to share her extraordinary talent with the world, these pressures underscore the cost of sudden and enduring fame. Perhaps most poignantly, Susan's story illustrates the fragile nature of dreams realized under a global spotlight. The magic of her voice, the triumph of winning a major talent competition, and the adoration of fans are undeniable, yet they coexist with the reality that fame can magnify vulnerability, create isolation, and impose pressures that are difficult to manage. Her journey highlights that success is not always synonymous with happiness, and that public admiration cannot fully shield someone from the personal struggles they may face. Despite these challenges, Susan Boyle remains a symbol of perseverance and authenticity. She continues to perform with the passion and skill that captivated the world in 2009, reminding audiences of her extraordinary talent. At the same time, her story carries a deeper lesson, that behind the glitz of fame and the headlines of success, real people live complex lives full of challenges, triumphs, and moments of sadness. Susan's life now is a blend of extraordinary achievement and poignant reality, showing that even in the brightest spotlight, human vulnerability remains, and the story behind the star can be just as compelling and sometimes just as heartbreaking as the story that first captured the world's imagination.